Right. We're good. We're good. We're live around the world to the millions of people. Steve, how you doing?
I couldn't be better.
Good. Good. Plenty of questions, as you can imagine, with the short news recently, which has been nothing but my fault.
Well, yeah, weekly question hours become bi-monthly question hours.
Yeah. I'm letting the team down a tiny bit, but it's pretty productive.
Time is money, Harry. Time is money, as we all know.
It is. I mean, I'm not sure if people are seeing stuff at the moment.
Quiet. Oh. There we go. We're fine.
Oh, good. Excellent. Right. We're away.
Just more over me and a pleb.
Okay. Do you want to run from the top then? Or just chat for a bit?
No, I think let's crack on. Just a
bit of product placement. First bit of product placement on weekly question hour. That is the old Moat cider, kiwi lime.
I've gone down.
Nice. We should get some decent traction there.
You might give us some money as well.
Yeah, if anybody, if old Moat cider want to do some sort of deal, then I'm happy to be the face of the brand.
I'm happy to be the face of Granny Smith.
Or Adidas, which is probably more fitting.
Yeah, maybe either or. Been playing soccer ball. That's the anyway. Let's crack on. The questions are in some type. I think they're in order of people upvoting them. So
yeah, that's a good order.
So from Hamdandy, is there any sort of update on the Yahoo Sport deal or other deal or any other content deals? Excuse me. Remember you mentioned an MSN one and two others in the past. What's the situation with those?
Okay, yeah. The Yahoo deal is still in talks with, as you can imagine, or anything when you're talking to a massive company such as Yahoo, it takes time, effort, a lot of contracts, a lot of legals, a lot of working out exactly how it's going to benefit them, how it makes it as easy as possible for them, whilst also working for us, which is tough. The one that's progressing faster, due to one of our board members being the former general manager worldwide of MSN.com, is MSN. MSN are interested massively in pulling in about 20 highlighted articles a day from our network. And from that, they will then syndicate it out to MSN.com, and people will click through from MSN.com into whichever website it's from. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to work out the 20 most popular articles of the day in real time, but that's something that myself, Dan, Will, and Steve are going to be looking into in the next few weeks. It's working out how that algorithm actually functions and how we can pass it to MSN in real time as soon as we see something that's going to be really interesting to a lot of people really quickly. So MSN's quite a long way down the road, but again, the legalities of the whole thing, basically of having them having the cover, because it's not their content, they aren't vetoing everything that goes through. We've got to then have security to cover that everything that comes through from us is legally viable for. So it's quite a complicated procedure. So
that's the hold up, isn't it? Really, the legal.
Yeah, and with all deals like this, legalities are the biggest thing. And I'm no lawyer, but I know that there's a lot of pages that our lawyers are looking through at the moment, and obviously MSN lawyers are looking through, and then it comes to the technical side of it, and that's just going to be a time thing. But something will come through pretty soon. Potentially.
The second that the legal guys say it's good to go, whatever Will's doing, we'll just put on the back burner and work on getting that done. It's huge. Just to let you know, the main legalities, like he said, in simple form, like I can understand, is it's going on MSN.com, and because MSN aren't writing it, they have to be sure that if one of you guys write something that is libelous or anything like that, then it's us who get the shit, not MSN. That's pretty much the basics of it. So that's what the lawyers and shit are going through now. That's pretty much the bottom line. Move on. Evan. Should I say Evan from America wants to know. I know that you hate these payment questions, Harry.
Fantastic impression. It's like he's in the room.
No, from New Jersey. It's like from New Jersey.
What country is Evan from? I've never been asked.
He's from New Jersey. But I'm going to be. I know you hate these payment questions, Harry, but I'm going to be the one to ask this time. I'm going off to uni soon, and would love to make some money on Fresh Press instead of having to go there.
Wouldn't we all?
Not many of us are. There's a few of us are. Basically, yeah, rather than getting a job, he'd like to be doing Fresh Press. So, what's the latest on payments and stuff?
Yeah, payment is obviously a massive issue. Put it into perspective, I'm being paid nothing by this company at the moment. Until we hit breaking point, until we hit break even, that it just becomes pointless of paying anybody that we don't need to. Right now, we obviously want to instantly pay you as soon as we can, but if we're not at break even, then we'd just be showing out money and we wouldn't be a company.
I would be homeless.
And said child would be homeless, so that wouldn't be ideal. So what we're doing is obviously working towards that break-even point, which we're not far off. Keep hammering it out. As soon as that hits, then we can start doing the rev share on what we're doing, which is becomes much more profitable for you guys, and will incentivize you to do more, which is great for us. It works in so many different ways, and actually it's a big old cycle. But we need to get to that point where we can actually build that system. That system is also incredibly complicated.
It's going to be so difficult to build a system.
Yeah, as soon as you start paying everybody, everyone's going to want to bite the cherry. So we need to make sure it's completely fraud protected. We need to make sure that you can't double up on views, that you can't get paid thousands of pounds when you don't need to be. We also need to work out the legalities of sending a lot of money to a lot of people. Then it becomes a lot of legality. When we're paying writers and then everything they say, is it then what we're saying? For instance, everything that goes on the BBC then take liability for, even though it's written by Phil McNulty or whatever they want to do, still take liability for the BBC. If we start paying people, then do we take liability? So it's all of those things we've got to look at and make sure 100% right before we go, spunking money all over the place. And trust me, I want to get paid by this company as much as you lot do, but at the moment I'm getting paid nothing. The only people getting paid money at the moment are Steve, Dan, and Will. So if you're going to burn anyone's houses down about payment, then it should be those three.
Yeah, basically, and the crux of it is, guys, the more views we get over the next few months, the quicker we're getting the views that make the company money, we can then start investing and paying people all that. It's not going to be the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be in the next couple of months, though.
It's going to be months.
My aim is kind of at the turn of the year. We'll look to bring it in. Realistically, it could be the start of next year.
You're talking. Yeah, I agree. Next one is from Dina Me. Hello, Dina. Probably one.
The first time on Wednesday.
Wears ridiculous hats.
Hats, very tall, unexpectedly tall. Everyone's tall there compared to me.
Yeah, we constantly see spelling grammar errors in the editor's site chart. In spite of the new spell check button, how do we intend on cutting this out? It's a very good question, to be honest, and it's starting to do my head in. Basically, guys, it's on you guys. You need to proofread your work. You want your sites to be on News Now to make sure that in the future you get more money. Then it's your work. You need to be responsible for it. When you tick that button at the bottom saying it's your work, you're responsible. We give you all the tools you need. You've got the spell check on it. We've advised you to get Grammarly. We've got an editorial system that we think is pretty simple to use. The fact is, spell mistakes shouldn't be getting on the site when there's a writer writing them and then there's an editor checking them. So I'm convinced now that editors aren't proofreading the articles. I think they're just pressing the spell check button, and if nothing comes on it, they think sound. But that's not correct, because, for example, if I miss a H out of where is still a word, WERE, so it's spell check, it's not going to pick that up. So Grammarly might, but the spell. So it's on you guys. Basically, we can't, at the end of the day, we can't do much. But if the sites don't get on News Now because of that kind of stuff, then it's just people hurting themselves, and hate really. It's going to delay the number of views we get each month, and therefore this whole payment thing is going to be on the back burner again, isn't it? So there's a system in place that this shouldn't be happening. I agree, Dean, and it's frustrating when you see it. And me and Dan do read articles, and we rather than do it in the editorial chat, we just DM writers and editors, but it's kind of one of those things that it's a self-policing thing, and editors need to do the job properly, basically.
Yeah.
That's nothing more we can add to that, really. Do you agree, H? Anything else, or is that pretty much it?
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, Matt Lynch is moving on. How can you make it so there isn't such a division between the News Now sites and the non-News Now sites? I see people who only write content for News Now sites, which is annoying when you ask 2 minutes previous for someone to write a non-News Now site. That's fair enough. What we have done, I don't know if anyone noticed the other day on the awards, we're going to do an award for the people who get the most articles published as well. So people who get the top 3 number of articles published will also basically be involved in the awards. That's one way of incentivising it, because you are right. People will just go for the views and kind of get that. I kind of don't, but I kind of do as well. So basically, yeah, that's one way we're doing it, Matt. We're trying to incentivise people to write for. It doesn't matter if you write for a site that gets 50 views or a site that gets 1,000 views. The incentive is still there to bang out as much content as you want. Unfortunately, we can't make people write. We can't force people what to write for and who to write for. But we just ask, and again, we ask people out just to be considered and help each other out. Basically, that's pretty much all we can do. But we've come up with one way of incentivising. If you guys have got any ideas, then by all means fire it across to me. But that's pretty much it, I think. Unless you got anything to say on that, H.
No. Again, I think you're spot on there.
Usually I'm, boss. I usually am. So you hire me, and you feel sorry for me. Next one from Matt. Do we know anything on when the FBA awards open for nominations? I can't find personally. I have actually got this. I've got this in my calendar.
I've got this in my email. I'm just digging through it more.
Yeah, I've got my calendar, so I'll find it. Give me 2 seconds. We can find it. The nominations open. Never mind, I don't. Oh, there you go. It opens on the 9th. Sorry, the 11th of the 9th. So Friday, the 11th of September. So a little over a week. Is when we can. What we'll do. Me, Dan, I think Dan is back by then. We'll have a chat, and we're going to see. We're going to put for each site. We're going to put our eggs in one basket. So we're going to pick for each site. We're going to pick the award that we think that site can win, and we'll push for nominations on that. Last year, what we've done, we tried to like, for example, with TBT and the Main Blues, I think we're up for awards. We went for all 3, and basically some followers voted for us in different sections. So we the views got spread out. So what we'll do is we'll say, you're more likely to win best new site or best blah 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 blah, and we'll say just hammer voting for that. We've got 400 people in Slack. If you all vote for each other, that's 400 views off the bat straight away for each site that you might be able to get. So I'm just saying that's one way to do it. I don't want Slack becoming a fucking political stomping ground where you're all begging.
I'm gonna say, which has a Labour vote.
But I'm sure we can sort something out. But yeah, Matt, so 9th to the 11th. Don't worry about it. We'll box all that out for you, and then it's up to you guys.
I'm looking to. I don't know. I think it's normally in November, the actual awards.
Yeah, I've got the day for that as well.
Yeah, shoot.
Hang fire, you just fill.
I'm looking to buy 2-3 tables of the event.
The 30th and 19th of November.
November. Okay, so 19th of November. I'm thinking of buying a few tables and filling it with you guys, whether you're nominated or not, because it's actually a fantastic event to go to. Great for networking, great to meet people that you've been talking to for months, years, whatever. And just a good night for us to all meet up. So, yeah.
We'll have a night out after it as well.
Early reservation into the owner of the FBA, so I know pretty well.
We can get on the jars in Manchester.
Yeah, correct. It's great. I am Manchester.
Yeah, it's all right. They're not fond of me, funnily enough.
No. Although we had a fantastic table last year. That was fun, wasn't it, with the Tottenham boys?
They were really drunk.
They were really pissed.
Next one is from Jack Brain. Is a website for international matches under consideration ahead of the Euros? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
World Cup numbers, didn't we? So we'll probably compare that.
Last international tournament was obviously the World Cup, and we did I'll pop our website. You can probably find it actually. www.worldcuppundits.com. Is it still there?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure we moved it over. I'm not sure.
No, we didn't. So World Cup Pundits came up for the World Cup, and we just boxed off about sort of 400 articles during the World Cup, and it was pretty impressive. We did a deal with William Hill, and it was pretty good. So what we'll do is similar sort of thing. We'll do a pop-up website, get it sponsored by one major brand, and just plug them to shit throughout the competition. I'm not a massive. Dan really likes the idea of an international website ongoing. I'm not so fussed on it because I'm not sure anybody's that fussed about international football.
I think pop-up sites for major tournaments is probably something more. I don't know. Like, for example, international breaks. Are people that bothered? I don't know. I'm not sure. So it's something we can look into, but
yeah.
Next one is from Adam. He's taking a piss out of me a bit.
Oh yeah.
How are you going to feel when Liverpool get relegated and I have to cover them for the FL72?
Oh, touche.
We're shit. We're not that shit, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, we are bad.
10th, maybe 15th. I mean, if there's ever a bottom half of the Premier League, then it might end up in that. But I think we're okay for now. Jack Benson. Got a lot of Jacks, haven't we? A lot of Jacks, I've noticed.
Yeah, we do have a lot of Jacks. Yeah.
Just an observation. At the top of the read site, we've now have the navigation bar for sport, film, fashion, music, and showbiz. We do, and they look awesome, by the way.
They look good, yeah.
However, where will the sites such as Read Technology or Read Gaming fit in?
All of those will shunt over slightly to the left-hand side once more come out, and we'll have a block called Other, and it'll have a drop-down, and everything else we add will go onto that. There's so much scope for this brand to grow, but we've got to be we've got to take it a step at a time, and really focusing on what's going to make it the most diverse, attractive platform for lots of different people. And that's why we haven't straight away gone for the gaming side of it, because it's very similar audience to the sport, especially football. So we wanted to diversify with fashion, music, showbiz, which brings in the girls, which is really important for advertising and important for sponsorship. So we are looking at massively shifting from football and sports sort of start next year, I'd imagine. They're just at the top to get people interested, but also because we really wanted to get that animation in.
It looks nice. Kieran Singh says, do we ever envisage Fresh Press becoming a place that is much more selective over who it takes on as writers? Not really, because we built this to give people opportunities. I say we, Harry and Dan built it and I gigged in. It's to give people, so if someone's a decent writer and needs a bit of coaching and stuff, then why wouldn't we help them? Because they're helping us, so we'll help them. If someone is completely dog shit, then no, they're not going to. They shouldn't get past the editorial process.
Is that a technical term? Is that the
head of HR? If the writing is of a poor quality, we can give them constructive feedback if we want, but no. Basically, if you want to write something about what we're offering, then that's the point. It's for anyone to be able to just jump on and write. We're still too reliant on Slack and the group of writers we've got. We get the odd random person come on and out, but eventually anyone can just click on that and I'd love at the end of a Liverpool game for 50 fans to have gone on and just give their thoughts, whether we won, lost, drew, whatever. I'd love them to just bang, I'm going to get me thoughts out there, earn a little bit of money off it, and we've got content. So not really, Kieran. I think as long as it's not dog shit, then we can. If they can write and we know we can write, and then that's not a problem. Here's one for you, Paige. It's more of a question for Dan, but since he's on the piss. What Dan decided to do, he took a holiday on the first week that I started this job, which was so I was through in the deep end, and then he took a holiday on transfer deadline week as well. So he's got his head screwed on, that kid, and he's
really, it's clever training technique.
I had hair on Sunday, well, a little bit. I fell out on deadline days. By the end of the night, I was on a 6 live blog from you. Anyway, what are the main differences between Grid and Reed? Excuse me, and that's from Adam again.
Hey, well, fundamentally, there's not much of a difference. Branding wise, is obviously a bit of a difference. There's the main thing for me and Dan when we looked at the whole landscape of what we were building was that Reed as a brand was so inclusive of everything, and it had the potential to grow really big. But the problem we always had was we could never double up. So there's loads of brilliant Liverpool blogs out there that we wanted to bring in, and we still want to bring in, and we brought one in. But we could never do that unless they wanted to merge with Reed Liverpool, because we could only ever have one in the network to make that hierarchy split up correctly, which is kind of the USP when we were pitching it to investors, that we had this incredible network hierarchy system, which is working fantastically when you go and read football and read sport. So what we decided is there's an opportunity for us, and there is an opportunity massively across the blogging network, of the blogging sort of whole landscape of blogging in general when it comes to football. There's so many football blogs that are doing really well but don't really know how to take themselves to the next level. We can take them to the next level with the design, the web tech that we can support them with. We can add all the things that they want added. We can look at everything. We can look at the data, everything like that. Because we've got a full-time team, we can actually really help them grow. With that, we've decided that the only way for us to take these new blogs in was to create another network. Transfer News Central is probably the best example for this, because it was the first one. We talked to the guys at TNC. We said, look, we can really help you build a professional website that you've always wanted. We can hold the servers. We'll financially support you, because I know they had problems before when their servers kept going down because they could only afford whatever they were paying for. So what we said is, like, we'll take care of all that shit, and we'll take you on. And they've been fantastic since we've had them, which is, I think, since the 5th of June or something like that, 5th of July. And that kind of was the proof of concept that we needed to bring it forward. We've now taken on a few more. We've got the FL72, which is a great site. Obviously, Adam asked the question. We've got LFC News Hub. We've just brought in trustytransfers.com, which is doing really well in its first few days. We've got a few other big ones in the pipeline. And with that we're just building a separate network that other blogs can apply for, and we can help them out financially in the growth, in the data. And, our benefit is obviously we're paying all the shit out, but we can get the ad revenue, or in a rev split, or whatever it is that we agree with the guys, or we can just help grow the blog. And that obviously helps when it comes to investment, because and also selling ads, because we have more page views going through our system. We have more ad impressions. We therefore have a wider network, and it just becomes a much more valuable proposition to everybody. But for me, the main thing on a personal level was, if someone had come to me when I was starting my blog when I was 16 and said, we'll come and house you, we'll look after all the tech stuff that you don't know much about, we'll help you identify the areas where you can grow, and we'll identify the areas of content that will actually work and what's not, and we'll tell you from our experience, especially in the last sort of 6 to 12 months of churning out 2,500 articles a month. We'll tell you what's wrong and what's right, and how to do it and how to do it properly. And that's a valuable experience with the people. And when I was 16, and when lots of you are trying to go into the industry, want to actually move into this business, and it's a valuable experience. Sorry for the ramble.
Yeah, I'm bored.
So that doesn't really answer the question. That's the difference between Grid and Reed. Reed is this very separate brand that houses this massive hierarchy of websites. The reason we brought in Grid is so we could help other people.
And on Grid, we can duplicate content. So yeah. TNC might have the same stuff that's on TC's, blah, blah, blah. And it's like an individual thing, which I've seen a question. I'm going to scroll down a bit. It was from, I think it was Ben. I've seen it before. It said, will Grid be aggregated? And not really, no. The only aggregation we're going to get on Grid is the footers. Excuse me, it's been like the most popular item. But there's no point to aggregating Grid then, because, like I say, there could be, in a year's time, there could be 6 Chelsea sites on Grid. So we'd just be aggregating 6 of similar stories. So there's no real. Grid is kind of individual sites that sit upon themselves and do their own content. We just house it for them, That's pretty much the difference. So there's no benefit to us aggregating them. But in the footage, you will get most popular articles on grid for the day. And the way Will designed that is only one site can be in that. So if the top 5 articles were all on TNC, it would be rubbish for just TNC to be on there all the time. Especially if someone's already on TNC, they're not going to click through. So it'll be one site. So it'll be the best read views on the Grids network, and only one site can appear on. So you can get click through. So if someone's on Trusty Transfers, they might see a TNC story and click through to there, kind of like that.
We're already being massively beneficial on click throughs.
Definitely. I was speaking to Ash Davis. I'm not sure if Ash is on or watching, and he asked me about the live blog for TNC where it got traffic from. We looked into it, and I think it was like 200 people clicked through from Trusty Transfers. So it definitely worked. Jacob Sinkins asked, what other sports will be getting their own website? We've obviously got rugby union, American football, and motorsport. Basketball's next.
Yeah.
That's waiting for Joe, Jack, and Thomas to box all that off. The site's there. We're just waiting for the content now. And then we're going to probably take a break, I think, for a while on introducing new sports sites, just for a few weeks and maybe a month, and we'll just reevaluate. But eventually, Jacob, it'll be cricket, golf. It'll all be there eventually, but we just don't want to rush it. At the moment, we are getting the same people who write for us to then open those sites. It's not feasible, and then we need new people to be coming in and stuff. So it might be a case that, like what we've done with Reed Motorsport, where we, Connor and the guys joined us from the formerly Upstate site, and we took that on board. That would be one option. So, yeah, I mean, eventually,
to put it in perspective, that website has grown from strength to strength since it's come onto the network. I think the first few days it doubled what it was having in the days previous. What are you doing, man? In the days previous to coming on board. So there are definite benefits to coming on board.
Hello. Yeah, basically, so I mean, major sports will all be on there eventually, but just there's no set timetable yet. Full disclosure, I've contacted a few people who run various sports sites and asked if they would like to become a part. Some were interested, some not so much, so we'll just play it by ear. But once basketball's up and running, we're probably going to just sit where we are for now and just try and develop that further. I'm happy for me and Apple.
Our timing to start eating.
Yeah, I've been exercising, and therefore I need to refuel.
This is health option. Opportunity this is Sainsbury's.
More product placement. How confident are you of a fresh press site winning at the FBAs? And that's from Dean.
Well, if Dublin win, I'll be devastated. I'm not confident, but I'll be fucking devastated if we don't.
Same the odd site. How the fuck can't we win?
It's becoming harder and harder to win at the FBAs. It's in its 4th year now. It's much worse than it was when I started going, and it's harder to win. However, there is nothing to say that we can't fill the whole category for young blog, and if we fill the whole category for young blog, then we're not going to lose. The last time we were 2 out of 10 in the young blogger category. We could be easily 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 of those.
If we're 9 out of 10 and we don't win,
I'll be so pissed off.
I will set that museum on fire. We were
gutted last year when we went up and didn't win. So
I think our sites were better than the ones that won, but I'm biased. But some of the ones that won weren't the best things in the world. But case after that. Ash again. Hello, Ash again. How many articles do you think we should look to publish a day per site? I find it difficult to plug things when we have more work, but obviously far better than having nothing. Is to simply give as much as possible. Yeah, pretty much.
What's completely zoned out?
How many articles per day roughly should they be doing? Is there a limit, or is just basically as much as possible? Or
I think the site that we kind of template quite a lot is Read West Ham. That's got a fairly good system going on there. And at their peak in the transfer window, they were turning out, for just a club website, they were turning out between 5 and 8 articles a day. That's a lot. I understand that's a lot, but you can stockpile. So they got to the point where they knew at 9 o'clock at night the day before that they already had 4 articles ready to go the next day, which is a good way of doing it. And that comes with a content plan and working out exactly how you're gonna do it. So if you can get 2 articles, 2, 3, 4 articles up a day, I think you're doing very well. A new piece of content a day should be the minimum. I think that's kind of what we've got to be working to. If we can get a new piece of content a day, then it's a good position to be in. Because that means
it depends on your writers. If you've got 50 writers, then it's different than someone like Reed Watford who've got like 1 or 2 writers compared to you might have 7 or 8, 9, 10 writers at one time. Ashford Gain.
Isn't he?
Yeah, it's recycling. How different do you see the rate of growth between Reed and Grid? Will one grow much faster, and are they being treated as 2 separate networks? E.g., advertisers only pay for Grids and not Reed. Can I answer it?
Can you?
Yeah. I like answering the business. I'm not that important, so I feel important when I answer these. Advertisers pay for both. We are dealing with one advertising company, so they provide the advert for all our sites. So we get in touch with everything. We've got a new site, and then we get the codes on. Bob's your uncle. Oh, he took a feedback. Hello.
Yeah, what's going on?
Put your headphones in.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you carry on, mate.
Yeah, well. You fuck off. In terms of growth, it depends on the site, doesn't it? If we, for example, get Trusty Peter, who've got a massive Twitter following, that site can go faster than Reed, Bournemouth, West Brom, just individual sites. I can hear my voice twice. Quite distracting, but we've got this headphones. So yeah, they're not in terms of advertising. In terms of how we treat them, it's 2 separate. And growth. It's probably Grid will grow faster, I think, in terms of because basically bigger accounts get on there. So that's pretty much that one answered. Kieran Singh, you hear me, H? You got me?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, no, of course, yeah, I'm back.
This one for you. Kieran has asked, how well known is Fresh Press? Example, could I reference to interviewers and applications for journalistic opportunities and they'd be aware of it?
I mean, depending who it is, but I say it's it's fairly well known. I mean, I know quite a lot of the national journalists, and I think nationally it's known fairly well. I mean, yeah, if you go to the Telegraph, they'll know who we are. If you go to the Mail, they'll know who we are. If you go to the Times, they'll know who we are. Mirror, etc. All of those guys know who we are. So yeah, go on, mate.
Because if you're talking local, most of the local sites, local papers.
Well, you say that, but a local reporter, let's say in Birmingham, might have heard of Read West Brom.
No, that's exactly.
If you're living in Liverpool and you reference Read Bournemouth, well then no, they're not going to know who you are. But if you're in Liverpool and you reference Read Liverpool, they'll know who you are because we've been working with those guys for the last 2 years. So. Yeah, I mean, it depends who you are and who you're talking to, but happy to put down, I think you should put down this as a reference because it's a good opportunity and happy to write references and talk to people on the phone about individuals. So, yeah, I'm happy to.
I've written a few references already and I'm happy to talk. And yeah, Kieran, people definitely, I say, our guys were in the Telegraph office the other day. I would be gutted if the Telegraph then never knew who we were, having invited us to their office. That'd be.
Yeah, I mean, we are exclusively pretty much going to the Telegraph events as their bloggers now.
Yeah.
We get the 2 front tables. They look after us better than anyone else. So, yeah, the Telegraph definitely know who we are.
Definitely. Scrolling through. Neil Voronish. Any update on press passes for American sports?
Christ.
This jumps when people vote stuff up or down. It doesn't matter. Any update on press passes for American sports like NFL, NBA, MLS? Also, any update on the Fresh Press merchandise? The merch.
What was the last bit? What was that? Oh, the merch. Oh, fuck that off. I'm not spending money on that.
We'll get the merch when we're making money for a start.
Yeah. When it comes
to Harry, don't worry about your sake. I'm going to go and create some sweaters. In terms of passes,
NFL UK. When is that?
Soon.
Is it? I'll talk to the NFL. I'll see if we can get some press passes for the NFL games at Wembley. I'll also get some press passes for the NBA game in London.
Yeah.
I mean, US sport based in the US at the moment. I've got no contacts for that. If you want to make your own contact for it, go for it. I mean, I'd love to be there. You know, the guys at Reed Motorsport were at Monza this weekend for the GP2 in the paddock. So, you know, and off their own back. So that, you know, if you guys want to go and apply for different things and see what comes back, just let Steve know that you're applying and let's see how it goes. But I will work with Steve to get NFL UK passes for the 3 London games and also the NBA London game in the O2.
So what we'll do for the NFL is I'll go to them all, and then I will take people along with me just to represent the company and such, and I get to watch NFL for nothing. But no, and I think it's important that one of us are there as well for a bit. Dan might want to go, so Dan might go to one. H might go.
I'm never going again.
Yeah, you're not fun.
I went to all 3 last year, and they were rubbish.
Michael Brown's asked a good question. This isn't what I thought I want. What is GOAT and WOAT?
Okay, where does it start? Isn't it? Yeah, so when I was at Sport Lobster, it was myself, Frankie, if you know him on Slack, and Molliver, Michael Oliver, and we just started talking. Well, Frankie brought it up that you know, American sport term GOAT, greatest of all time, and then we just started calling things instead of good GOAT, and then we decided as a group that we needed something to the opposite of it, so we just went with the WOAT, which is the worst of all time. So we've now got the greatest and the worst of all time, and now they're just used as words to mean good and bad, which is horrible but brilliant at the same time. And I quite like it because it's now spread from 3 of us in the office shouting at each other to 400 people talking like they were there that day, which is funny. And go.
It's a chat up line.
Yeah, someone uses a chat up line, which is highly unadvised.
You'll have that one on the head. Dina, hello Dina again. The Telegraph event was a thoroughly enjoyable experience. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Can we expect much more of these as the network grows? Yeah, basically anything. You know, I've got a contact now with the guys from Premier League TV. It's basically a TV channel that gets broadcast everywhere across the world except in England. Alex was on it the other day, Alex Newton, when I got interviewed about Reed West Brom. There was an opportunity the other day for a United fan. Unfortunately, no one could make it, but so that kind of stuff is available.
Talk Sport as well got in touch with me recently, so that's potentially down the line. Might be doing some stuff with Talk Sport where you guys would go on and talk about the club.
Games are there still and such. So there's plenty there.
We took guys to Sky Sports. We took guys to Adidas's boot launch. Yeah, I mean, look, there's loads of opportunities flying about. The more you become established, the more that will come up. I mean, the guys, Dean and Adam, went to West Ham under 21s versus Arsenal under 21s last week. So there's a lot of opportunities going on. So it's just about whether you're available, whether it's right for you, and when they come along, really.
Yeah. Matt Lynch has asked, should sites be careful with heavy criticism if we want to get potential opportunity to cover under 21 games at clubs, etc.? I know some clubs are funny about criticism. No. If we want people to blog as they want, as their opinions, trust me, I've been in that Liverpool press box numerous times, and to this day, if I met Dejan Lovren, I'd tell me shit at footy.
Yeah.
So no, if you want to, don't censor yourself, guys, at all. I mean, if you're representing the website, for example, on the Twitter account, then yeah, be careful. So we don't want on the Twitter account. But if you're writing a personal blog article, then by all means write what you want, as long as it's not ridiculously offensive or anything like that. But if you think, your team's goalie is shit, and you tell everyone he's shit, you know what I mean? Then it's as simple as that. Matt Lynch again, fucking hell, Matt. No wonder Aston Villa's been slow today. Where can you see the Reed site being by the end of the year?
Oh, we'll have a lot of them. That's a start. We're gonna start branching out, because before January we want to make sure we're much more covered in terms of clubs in Europe to make sure we make the most of the transfer window. So hopefully, lots more sites we on news now. So we'll have, the likes of Everton, Newcastle, all those sites that are plugging away and doing some great work. We'll all go on to News Now and get rewarded for their great work. And if that happens, then we'll be trebling our figures anyway. And then we'll have more sites. So the likes of Read American Football will be much bigger. Rugby Union would have had its spike with the World Cup. Basketball will be live. We'll probably be bringing in things like tennis. We'll have a lot more grid sites. So the whole network will be a lot bigger. The community will be a lot bigger, which is great, and it will allow lots of you to connect with each other and work out exactly what you want to do going forward. And we'll also have a much better product. I mean, the product we've got at the moment is fucking brilliant. I've never been so proud as when I look on the websites and think, Jesus Christ, we've spent years looking at this, and it is honestly fantastic. But we've only really scratched the surface, which is exciting. And I look at the to-do list that Will's got, and some of the stuff in there is really exciting. And stuff we've had planned for years now that we haven't really been able to do because we haven't had a full-time team to be able to implement it. So there's all sorts of different things. Some things have been seen before on different websites that we want to bring in to make our sites as good as theirs. For instance, galleries will probably be coming out next week. So you'll be able to insert a gallery inside an article on the Right For Us page, where it's a slideshow, so you can do a top 10 and it's different photos and people click in between them. It means pages go up. It means
Bleacher Report for that, isn't it?
Bleacher Report, yeah, do them really well. We want to make them look great, function great, and be easy for the user to use. So, for instance, page load time in between the clicks, we need to make really, really quick to make sure it doesn't feel like you're going into lots and lots of different pages, which is nasty. But yeah, I mean, the product is going to be amazing. Some of the stuff that we've got planned has never been seen before, and that's a long way down the line. But I've got some really big plans, and it kind of starts with the MSN stuff. But there's something in the pipeline that's never been seen before. I don't think so. I think actually the only people that know what it is me, Dan, and the investors. I will share. But it's so it's it, huh?
You fucked me off there.
Oh right, yeah. So it's a really, really exciting project that can only really be started at the middle of next year. So we've got to get the business through right till then, and then we'll be in position to do it, and that is pretty groundbreaking. And once that's in place, then this business goes from being valued at 10 million through to being valued at 100 million, which is obviously massively exciting for me. And obviously the payment for individual writers when we do it will become a lot higher.
I wouldn't mind it being worth 100 million as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
I own a little bit, so ka-ching! Drinks on me. Jack Benson, is there anything in the development of Fresh Press that you wish you did differently? What's the question? But I think that was the basic of it for now. So, is there anything in the development of Fresh Press that you regret or wish you did differently?
I wish I did it differently. I don't think so. The whole journey has been massively exhilarating, exciting, interesting. Met a lot of fantastically interesting people. The only thing that I don't. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'd like to have changed, because it wouldn't have stressed me out as much and probably wouldn't have the incessant back problem that I've got at the moment, is the whole investment saga. If that had been easier, then that would have been good. But if you don't know, we were 2 months into investment. We had it all agreed. Everything was done, bar the contract being signed. We needed the money in 10 days from where we were, having everything agreed. We needed the money in 10 days to be able to pay Steve, Will, Dan, Getty Images, the design company, loads. We were about £20,000 down, and we hadn't paid any of that £20,000, and we had 10 days to do so. We didn't have the money. We didn't have any contracts signed, but we had it all agreed. One investor pulled out on that day for personal reasons, and I completely accept it. I knew the guy before any of this, so I accepted that, but it meant that we had 10 days to raise the money that we needed. And to put it into perspective, raising investment is incredibly difficult. If you're interested in any of that shit, then I suggest you watch. There's a few really good documentaries on Channel 4 with startups trying to raise investment. It takes months. It takes months of agreeing things, working contracts out, looking at shareholders' agreements, taking the lawyers through everything, making sure that everything's in place for then the money to be transferred. We were 10 days short, owing £20,000, and I had to go in to an investor, re-pitch the idea, knowing that in 10 days' time we were £20,000 down, and secure the money. Well, pitch it, him agree the money, agree the equity, get a lawyer to draw up the contract then to be sent over to everybody to sign it, and then everything to be agreed, bank transfer to be agreed, and the amount of money to actually hit our bank account. We had to do in 10 days. It's normally a 3-month process, and we did it with a day to spare. And Steve got paid on time.
I had the back behind my doors enough to keep the.
I hadn't told Steve any of this. Steve didn't know to pay. So in fact, that would probably be the only thing I'd like to do differently. Although it was a fantastic experience for me, to kind of had to do it. I mean, Dan was in Portugal.
Do you have it?
Yeah. Dan was in Portugal at the time, and I rung him and said, "Look, mate, sorry to ruin your holiday, but I've got 10 days to raise the money. You haven't got a job. It's all gone tits up." So we did it, and we've got a fantastic supportive investor who told me today that he's incredibly impressed with what we're doing and what we have done in the last sort of 3 weeks since our launch, and he wasn't expecting it to grow this quickly. And the stuff we've got planned that he's seen, and the stuff that we've got planned for next year, is really, really exciting. So with all of that, then we're actually in a very good position. But I think that's actually a really, really good question.
No, I agree. There's always things you can learn.
Massively, yeah. I wouldn't regret that thing. I wouldn't redo it. It was just the bit that was the worst bit of the whole journey, but at the same time, the lot I learned.
Yeah, Sam Davis has asked what's the next big step up for Reed Network, but I'm not sure we can. I think we've answered that really, haven't we? It's more a case of that top bar getting all filled with sites and shit. Is the next main. But keep growing, Sam. Is that there's no next big step. It's just keep growing and introducing sites, and then we'll go. Obviously, the bigger step will be going out from sport into film or showbiz or whatever, because we've got no experience as a quartet of people who work for us at the moment of dealing much with that side of the. I mean, Harry worked for Sport Lobster. I've done this. Dan's been in this, so it's something that obviously we'll take advice and we might even get other people on board. But I think that's the next bigger step when we branch away from sport. I think that's probably fair, H.
Yeah, no, we'll have to hire people in those verticals in order to.
I mean, as nice as Harry's shirt is, read
great shirt.
Read fashion.
Yeah, it's not gonna be run by me. I guarantee it. And I've seen Molliver's shirts as well, but he's going nowhere near it.
Molliver, fuck me. Rodri wears nice shirts. Might get him on.
Oh yeah, no, nice shirt. Yeah.
Dean Amy's hat is not getting anywhere near.
No, not on.
Jacob asks, any chance of Reed Crawley Town? No. Jack Brain, when you say think big when speaking of Fresh Press's ambitions, what are your targets for the network in the next 5 years? And do you think some of the sites will become nationally and globally recognised? I think some of the sites already are nationally recognised. I'll say that. But
yeah, I mean, I think you've got to look at fan-sided as example, SB Nation as another example. I mean, we'll get to that stage, and that's pretty big. I mean, that's a sort of 10, 20 million pound valuation, 300 plus websites, and close to 50 million page views a month. That's where we want to be, and we will be in 5 years' time. I've got no doubt about that. What makes us more exciting than SB Nation and fan-sided is that we're going to be diversifying into these different verticals away from sport. So our real vision and kind of what I've been talking about when I'm going to meet potential partners and potential investors or whatever is that we're looking to be the UK's Huffington Post in the long term. We're going to have everything the Huffington Post is going to have. We're just going to be the young UK version of it. And that's kind of where we're aiming.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty big, I suppose. UK Huffington Post
couldn't be bigger. Mike Brown, that's what's next in the pipeline for Fresh Press in regards to developing. I think we've gone through that, Mike. I think that we've covered that. Plateau, hello. Yeah. Plateau runs the LFC News Hub site. For anyone who doesn't know, is on Grid. Has asked, where do you see Fresh Press after a year or two? Again, I think we've just answered that.
Yeah. It's going to be big. I mean, my goal is by the middle of next year, or by the end of next year, to have 150 websites. By the end of this year, then there'll be 50. I currently think we're on 36. We're getting there. By the end of the year, we'll have 50.
Yep. Joe has asked, will there be a vacancies page at any point similar to the ones that Fansided and SB Nation have?
There is one, isn't there? I don't know. Dan looks after all this shit.
If we have there's an opportunities page on the Fresh Press site, but it's more.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But that's for, again, it's volunteers. I mean, if we're ever hiring people to do work, then yeah, maybe. But once we start paying people, we'll make it well publicised. Don't get me wrong, where the mouth spreads as well. Tell your mates, and you can earn a few quid. They might start writing and stuff. Any more? Kieran's asked, will Fresh Press ever branch out into current affairs / news?
Yeah.
There you
go. Well, yeah, I'm not. It's. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe later. It's not as much. It's not so much a blog, is it? When you're talking about news, then you just become a news site. I mean, you still want to have the blog. If people are commenting on the news, then great.
Yeah, we're not gonna send fucking reporters out to Afghanistan and shit.
No, we're not.
They might die. And then that would cost us money. We'd have to look after their families and shit.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Fuck that.
I'm rubbish at care.
Yeah. I mean, I'm alright at it, but I've got my hands full.
Put it down.
himself. Dejan Lovren still in Manuel Lanzini's pocket. I don't know who is he the guy who scored against us, the little guy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Lovren's. I don't even know. No words. I was at that game, and I had no idea who that guy was, but I just saw him score a goal, which pissed me off. Chris Sparks. How far in advance do you find out about Telegraph events or similar events? I would love to attend one, but I live in Sunderland and Edinburgh and would need a bit of notice. It depends. It depends on the team. The Telegraph told us literally a few days before. The Premier League guy phones me in the morning and said, you get someone to Old Trafford in the next couple of hours. So it doesn't win. Like the FBAs, for example, Chris, we know in advance, well in advance. If you want to head down to that, you're more than welcome. Reed Sunderland will definitely be nominated for something. I think it's doing really well. So make plans for November. I can never say. I think it's Joe here, and I can't say your name. And tell me how you say it. I'm really sorry, Joe. Since we have a Reed NBA starting up, and we have Reed American football and Reed US soccer, what are the chances of Fresh Press getting invited to events in America? Similar to Harry's question before, we need contacts, don't we? So we'll work. At the moment, it's probably slim, but by all means, we can ask, we can apply for stuff. So, like say, if you see a press event that you might want to go to, tell me. I'll sign off when you go in. Either I'll tell you guys to apply, or I'll apply on your behalf. In terms of getting invited, it's probably we're not that well known over there yet. 70% of our traffic is UK traffic, so we're a UK based site, and that's the way we are. But down the line, again, it's hard to say. But like I say, press event, by all means, you tell me and we can go. Drinks break, like cricket. Are you expecting, or do you know of any events similar to the recent Telegraph event that will be held outside of London and Manchester that we can go to?
No, I don't know anybody. I'm sure there will be some. I don't know. I don't organise the events. If I just get invited to shit, and most of those people are in London because that's where I'm based. Opportunities will come up though that won't matter where you are. So there might be some video opportunities. So I know last season Steve went on the Google Hangout with Henry Winter.
I did. Me and Henry, Bezzies. Yeah. Loves me, Henry.
So Steve did a call with Henry Winter. That was an opportunity. So there was a lot of stuff, and there is going to be a lot of stuff. You know, the talk sport stuff. You don't have to be anywhere. So there is a lot on the Premier League TV. You know, we had a West Brom one. They're all around the country. So you know, stuff comes up, but obviously most companies are in London.
That's what I was saying. The fact is, the big companies are in the major cities. So if you live in Timbuktu, the chances are high. Unless I like to go to an event than you are if you live in London. It's just one of those things. Steve Sky also. Steve, unlike some of the writers for the Reed site.
Oh, I love this. I love this question.
Finished?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I love this question.
Unlike some of the writers for the Reed site, I already have a journalism degree and I've worked in TV news here in the US before I got into teaching. I am passionate about writing, but with 2 kids to support, are we going to get paid? I think we've answered that before.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to feel responsible for not feeding your kids.
All I'd say is I'm not too sure you're ever going to get paid that much where you can afford to run a house with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Maybe you will. Maybe you will. I mean, who knows? It depends how many views you get and stuff. But the payments.
If you're struggling to provide food for your kids,
don't blog. Go and get a
don't blog. Go and get another job. That would be my advice to anybody, not just him. General. If you're struggling, or not struggling, or you just want some extra cash, blogging's probably not the best way to do it. There's like a local corner shop or something that will pay you a bit of money. But yeah, I don't know. But another payment question.
Well, people like money. That's fair.
Yeah, I honestly love money. Honestly, that's why I started this fucker. But I'm getting nothing. So until I do, none of you are.
I'm quite fond of money myself.
You're getting fucking paid.
I do your job. That's why when you're fucking in bed at 11 o'clock. Um, Sam, last question for now. What did the investment go towards? It's a pretty good question, actually.
That is a good question. Okay. I'll get a spreadsheet up. I can tell you for it once I look at the spreadsheet. There's obviously there's the design cost to get the websites looking how they look. Then salaries, so Steve, Dan, and Will cost a fortune. Then there is things like Getty Images, which cost a fortune.
Define fortune, because I'm not sure I earn this fortune.
You do. And all of that stuff as well. So there is a lot of stuff that we spend money on that you probably don't even or recognize on a day-to-day basis. I'm just trying to find the fucking spreadsheet.
Server cost.
Yeah, servers. Here we go. Everything that you can imagine. All the tech shit that you wouldn't even understand because it goes all over my head. You know, we pay for servers at about 500 quid a month. DNS stuff, domains. We hold 100 domains. Each of them costs like 15 quid. That's $1.5 grand. Prizes to you, that's 100 and something quid a month. We've got all sorts of tech bits in here. GitHub, DN Simple. Then we got expenses. So when we send people around the country, so Steve comes to London, we pay his hotel, train fare, whatever.
Hotel.
And then all sorts of things. Dan's phone bill comes out of here.
What?
We bought Steve's MacBook.
Oh yeah.
HMRC payments. Everything you can ever imagine, really.
Because we're not making money yet, everything that costs money is the
goes out. Yeah. We're just burning into money.
Evan's question I've just found. What should I do about Getty being so poor for the MLS? My guys and I barely find images, and we often have to use pictures that are 1 to 2 years old. This might prevent us from being able to do galleries and stuff. I think the women's Super League sites have that issue. Sometimes the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I mean, once they're big enough, we'll investigate other options for that. I'll go to Reuters and say what's the MLS pack going to cost us. But until we can justify the cost, if the MLS site comes to the point where it can cover the cost of an image pack, then we'll go and fucking get an image pack. Until then, it's just like, well, we're just burning money away for the sake of it. I want to have the best stuff available to all websites, but there's got to be a limit to how much money we spend on certain things. And if there is a certain amount of images, which I can see from your site that there is available, then we're just going to have to run with that for the time being. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's until we can afford the money for better ones, then we kind of we are. We can't have 5 different picture image. They cost a fortune. I don't think people understand sometimes.
I mean, photos cost a fucking fortune.
Go on, fortune. Have a little Google and see how much you think Getty costs us. It's a lot. It's probably more than my wages.
Yeah.
Steve Ellis, is there any push on social media for the site? I did a fair bit with one of my articles and got a few hits. Do you want some more push for promotion by writers via their own Twitter or Facebook? Absolutely. We share it. Do whatever you can. So if you put on you do your article, do whatever it takes to get it. So the editors will put it on Facebook maybe or Twitter. You can do what you want with it. So you can put it on your own.
And I know Will's watching this. And this is me just thinking on the spot. What if we did it so that every time an article's published, an email sent to the person who published it with obviously the link to it. We'll jot this down, by the way, whack it in Trello. Link to it, and then big buttons like we've got at the bottom of the articles where they can instantly just press 4 buttons: Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, Reddit, email, and then people can just instantly, every time they publish an article, they get an email back with it saying it's been published successfully, and then they can instantly share it. Because take yourself away from someone who writes a lot of articles on Slack, we are actually trying to really engage people that are going to be writing one article a month, and those are the people that we want to, make write more. And if they get more reads by sharing themselves, then they'll do that. So we'll drop that down.
There we go. I think that's all the questions on there. So I know this is delayed, so I'll give people, if you want to go onto Slack and pop anything else in, by all means, go for it. We'll hang on for a couple until the delay comes along. Harry will have a cider.
Old Mount Cider, the best cider Sainsbury's provide.
What did you think of today's questions, Harry? Were they sufficient for you?
I thought there were some really good ones. I liked the where does the investment money go? So I think that's interesting. I think the question about the grid read split was interesting because it's a debate that we had internally. There was one that I spent ages answering, and I can't remember what that was. And I thought that was a fucking great question. Can't remember who asked it, but I thought there was one in the sort of towards the end that was just awesome. I think that there were some really, really good questions. Obviously, some payment questions.
Okay. But Will said that's doable. By the way, Harry, get it on your list.
I know it's doable. Yeah.
Seb, anyway, we can fix the feedback box. Am I right to say they can't read their feedback when one of their articles is published?
There you go. That goes into that same email. So the email should have your article has successfully been published. Maybe the logo of it probably says read everything logo or grid logo, depending on what network it's been published on. Then it will have a quick bit of default text with a link to it. It will then have the feedback from the editor box, and then it will have share your article now and 5 big buttons. Lovely. They just put it up on Trello. Excellent. Okay, good. So yeah, a really, really nice sophisticated published email to authors would be a really nice way of doing that. Seb.
So yeah, to fix the feedback, Will, that's your job. Alex Newton's has the best.
I mean, it's lower priority than Gallery.
Yeah,
Gallery. That is interesting.
Alex has asked who's got the best emoji. Well, I've got 4, I think now, so it's probably me.
Oh,
Alex has asked
who's got the best emoji
on Slack. I've got 4, so I mean, like I say, it's the FBA thing. If you've got 4,
it's Wota Ben. Wota Ben. Yeah, I'll show you that. I'm not sure if you remember it. Wota Ben is my favourite. Never have I ever seen a face fill the whole square. It's great.
I like Well Done. I know it's not Well Done, is it? What's Dan with the sunglasses? Kid.
I don't know. They're all funny.
There's one where Dan's a kid. That's quite funny. I think I might be making that. Yeah, this one. Dan Wout, yeah.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like Dan Wout.
Rustled is rubbish. I don't like Rustled.
No, I'm not a huge Rustled.
Okay, cool. Any other questions in there? Any events coming up in Norwich? No, never, ever. Can we Kickstarter to get Steel Wig? Not a bad idea.
If any company is running an event in Norwich, I don't think I want to get involved.
No. If you want to set up an event in Norwich, by all means. But nothing to do with me.
No.
Okay. Is that it? Is that what's gone on? How do people like watching it on the Fresh Press website? I mean, that's a new thing for us. I thought it was a bit of an idea. It's good for hits. One in there. Not that it's got any adverts on the page. Maybe we should look into that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's knock it on the head then. Let's knock it on the head.
Yeah, let's knock on the head. Nice to talk to everyone. Appreciate your time, Steve.
This weekly question hour, that 6 months after that.
This is the 6 monthly question hour with Harry and Steve. Thanks very much for watching. Sponsored by Old Mount Cider.
Hi, Pepsi.